Ebusianfo, let's get personal. It was exactly 14 years ago, and yet say Atta Mills with him. Exactly 14 years ago. Now, I think I've talked about this story before, and I'm going to talk about it again. And meneyana enyama bi say esia. The lessons are yeni ne wose yesua efrimu no. Atta Mills in the Fourth Republic, the only president who whilst still being president. And in the situation, no, it was a history, whether we like it or not. It will be remembered forever. I remember very well that day. Now, beside that, I'm going to tell you the story, and then there is I'll divert small or deviate small. Now, there was a book I was reading, and the title of the book, How to Learn Anything. Now, as someone what can I say, if you want to know how to learn something, trick your brain and associate that thing with an event. And the reason I'm saying that, and I say, me assure say ebia embra bibi boni bitu ewa brabom and embra bibi pabitu wa brabom no. Sa day no see ye trail say eduane a wodi ye kaya obetumi akai. Now so ye trail say eduane a wodi ye last week Friday kra na me assure say bia wontumi nkai. Why? Because sa day na ade very important is you wa brabom no. Wa adwen a capture. And so if you want to learn anything ewo abrabomu opese wa adwen no eye fast need to make capture nyama associate it with events. That's a trick. That's ya say enti opese otai kai nyama ntentemwa. That is the trick. Now that being said, and then diversion na no. Now let's come to the story. So I remember very well the day Atta Mills Efrimu. I remember exactly what was happening. So what happened was that me free and I me call game center. Right? Me free na me call. Before that, no. Na me wadam phobia woye asantini. Na every day, eya na me wo mufie. Omufie na debi eya na metina. Enti me free and I me call game center. Na eya na me sa time no. Me wie say sa time me nyan call it was 2012. Okay, sa time me wie SS. Me result aba me be call university EWK University 2012, right? Enti me call me movement me try me result and me be K University no me movement two game center or sa madam funifie and I say me ofie game center or madam funifie and I me ofie enti me call game center eko ball game we no me pie ena me nanti akọ madam funifie. Now months before na sa madam for no every Friday nyumre oni nebusuanfo omoko all night oni ne maame ni nebusuan omoko all night na omoko all night no ba betre me say omosofo akan bibi a eye very serious. Na madam for no ye MPP for o say omosofo akan bibi a eye very serious na omosofo asem a wo kan say e wo say Ghana ye bompa ye because osofo no we hu say embre bi aba e ma Ghana ye ni na ye hye black yesu because president ewu. Nti me kai say me free game center me ko sa madam fo ne fie. Nti ho na madam fo no ni nua ba o hia me wo kwan ho. Yesi president ewu. Yesi president ewu. Me kai sa day no na me ne madam fo bi foforo na nam. Sa madam fo na me ne nam no. Oh Charlie, yasi found. Sa madam fo na me ne nam, your friend no Kobe. You know, the reason why I'm sad is that some madam for near friend Kobe, you know, later in life, he started abusing drugs, and the last time we heard of him, no, now about bedane bodam for our nam kwan. You know, it's not many Kobe na nenam, and he share madam for no, nini aba, and not try and say, yes, the president, you, a one me this speed, me dimrika. It's a mini Kobe, na Kobe in so dimrika. Me kofie akwa so TV ahwe ti me ne Kobe me refie me ko na me maame eda eye ho wada ewo one of the chairs no emu te ho na me so TV na me ma me te say obi aso TV eno sorry and sorry na nda woni so no say aden ya Russia ba fie sa na me say o sisi ani ya ka tren say president na ewu ye so TV3 me kai pan edaso breaking news the president is dead afi me ma me I say me ma me hu de onye ne ho I say hey she was having this discernment some days ago onya discernment no she was having this discernment in her spirit adie we yesi I remember that day very well. You see how I am describing because that incident na see no unprecedented. So I remember every single thing about that day. And check. Ye what demo ya so TV a yetia na yehu say other people be ye dede jubilate wo ye dan nichi. Eni pie ye kokotwe say hwan mo a maamefo mienu bi a omo area ni mu a wo mo ye MPP for. That story in my cancer, they were jubilating. Imagine obi at that time I was very young. I fiancé me beko SS. I fiancé me beko university. Me nie fidie na still me young. Omo jubilate. Omo ye MPP for adenya president ewu. And you see in their ignorance, emra no mu jubilate no. What they were saying was that Atta Mills ewu dia sisi ano ye Kufuor na ye de presidency ne. That was their thinking. Omo thinking they say Atta Mills ewu dia and the sisi ade Ghana presidency no ye nkoto abampo ye de be hye Kufuor sa straight. They didn't know say Ghana mrakra say Atta Mills wa Mahama ne beba be diso. So they were jubilating. Atta Mills ewu and the presidency no sisi Kufuor ye de be me Kufuor wicked bunch of people. In Mao awo mo mma no more yes I did no. And they were jubilating over that thing. The first time I was like, hey, how can people be this wicked? You know, how can people be this wicked? So I remember that day very well. And sometimes, you know, sometimes it feels like it was just yesterday and a day we see here. But if you look back 14 years ago, 14 good years. You know, sometimes if I remember things like this, what I tell myself, I say, I wish I knew some of the things I know today. I wish I knew them back then. Because imagine, say, 14 years ago, a perfect example, Bibi to say, I have a book here about investment. Imagine that I knew this thing, with 14 years ago. And I'm coming here at that time now. It was young for, what are you telling me? Anyway, I digress. So 14 years ago, I remember that story very well. But then today I woke up and, you know, that story, you know, air flashing me so. Now question and maybe some who say, so as a country, what have we learned about the two Atta Mills? No? As a country, what have we learned? Rebecca say, in regards to what? In regards to a lot of sectors. In the first place, so here, in regards to you, the individual, your health. Because so share idea you see kun Atta Mills yesi na a stroke ni nua asemo awokan a stroke in so there idea ba kon a time stroke eba pa BP you are not exercising well enough stress also and you see it fits the portfolio Anna Atta Mills or occupy no because as a president you'll be stressing a lot. You might not even be getting time to be exercising. You'll be eating late. And it's hard. So personally, no, what is the lesson? Personally. But yes, I was just asking myself that question. So personally, lessons when I was seeing film. And then secondly, Emra assembly see you see you're rushing at the core hospital, 37 military hospital. Issues by say you didn't call and your doctor and shano nini na no mba catch and say a yentro. But then the question that arises and say and Ghana your hospital system no has it gotten better? And we all know the answer. And the number of people are rushing or modiamo hospital, yeah, say no bed syndrome. No, we all know. And also a lesson as a country. What have we learned from the death of Atta Mills? And the yeka say Atta Mills legacy ben enujaye. Personally, what can you learn from it? And that's the reason why I'm talking about this. If there's one thing I can learn or I can thank Atta Mills for, is the fact that he introduced someone like His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to us. Is the fact that he was not selfish. Is the fact that ye can more young people about rap politics, especially for the NDC Atta Mills. For me, I think say a legacy down for Atta Mills. Into be biara wo tiemia oye NDC nino. What lessons are you learning from it? The way Atta Mills or man for opportunities no. Se nyankopon tu nsemo a, can you give those opportunities also to people? You understand my point? So what the American what you say? And 14 years ago, that was just the question. And the eba mitrim. Lessons been a yesua from a year Atta Mills new one. Emo. A year lessons been. Nationally, lessons been a yesua. The education on, you see, there's something His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is doing currently that I like very, very well. Is the fact that or catch Ghana for say mamun didi late mamun nyese monye exercise kakra MPP for no try some of the year we say ani Mahama o si yenum ti yenye we mayen didi ni yenye we no. But you see, at the end of the day, Sadia na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama kano and ne beboa. So you know, this is just one of those videos me say menya ni yenhwe atia say let us look back and then see say 14 years ago what has changed. And then asisa. If you know, for me, I think say one of the things that I may expect to say, a best son, and they say I don't know whether it is happening, but one of the things, and they say the presidency itself. I know maybe there might be a sick bay at the seat of the presidency, but it has gotten to a point where the presidency itself, from Adia to Atta Mills, probably maybe the presidency itself. You know, the presidency itself should have some sort of, you know, medical center. No. Yen train Emma Bibi into president and see a rational Edinako, Ebia 37 and Bibi. And if the president is in the Jubilee House, there should be a medical center over there. A better debate in Grovobeka say, I didn't tell a Musi medical center, but that's the truth. He's our president, whether we like it or not. We need the president alive. There should be a compulsory off stress. You know, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama tried that when he became a president, and you know, people didn't understand. In fact, me amiti I'm the president Ekufa Dokra Woyebi. Ema ye na ye bonechi. But all of these things, you know, sometimes it's politics. The fact that as a president, should the president be, you know, be entitled to off days? Or your president there, now so, ebia, also nya off day no ko jojo ne ho ana. When His Excellency John Dramani Mahama nansi ya wabaye, eno na the first time we ya wako Dubai. Eko relaxe kakra MPP for the year propaganda ene wakwa koto dan wo Dubai no na nse yan so won se ne off day no oko emse gomu a se de eko some resorts bi some forest reserve bi munya mokai one ye ma melodina. So should that thing be, I personally think those things should be encouraged, you know, because for me I feel say ye betumi ashembra but enyama bia ebeto yen no we need to be dynamic with them brand ye behye no. Enyama bia ebeto yen no sa nyama no ne wo se yetumi edehwe mbra. Into you as a person I would hear me. Why ye juma san? Do you take off days? You should be having at least some 2 off days be. At yourself some weekend be for you to go outside of your vicinity. Kotina baby. Go somewhere. A bree baby. Pram baby, go see some riverside be, go sit somewhere and sort of, relax. Sometimes it feels like you are spending a lot of money on a trip like that, but I kid you not, it does a lot of things to you for your health. It does a lot of things for you. Obian to me interest here. Into what would hear me, that's the lesson. Take an off day. Sometimes the stress might be too much. Recently, a branch here be na me share young guy be video, very very young guy. When you say 30 years, and all kind of video nim say he has always been about on the grind. So me ye move way, de bia na ejuma, and ye na ejuma, de bia no ko ejumem, and ye na client aye way, and de bia no ko ejumem, and ye ejuma ye say he has always been that way. Na onim say, or your doctor so, na onim say, ne life slip away. Into oba benya health condition, health emergency be eno call hospital, or mo checking the BP ne nyam say, hey, where the 30 years, but baby our BP no one here ya benya stroke. I say from then and there. We want to say enkwa ho hia nti ejuma no he on penema na ejuma phobia and stress no okwa ejuma mu na sales ni ho a on konko ha na adwen ko worry because ejuma ne enye de bia na be koso ye sometimes anko so ye na wo stress too much na ma how ni na BP tisisi a wati asese wo so living a life ekoye ma na wadanya mi ase anko ya obesua ne lesson na wa try biom. And I believe that is how we are supposed to live life. Take that vacation. Enjoy a little of that money you've made. My policy is in a year, go for a weekend vacation at least twice. That's just here. In a year, go for a weekend vacation twice. Until weekend no come Friday, not waba back Monday. Kojojo relax. Ko bebia nature. And you say weekend vacation now ko baby a cities ne dabi ko baby a nature obi hu riverside be go sit beside the riverside, enjoy yourself, just sit down, relax. It recharges you. It does a lot of things to you that words can't even explain. And so for me 14 years ago, Atta Mills free I will free muno. There was a book I read, I think last year, I think it should be last 2 years. And the title of the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, book na sema what kind of say. Imagine say, o nantiako eye, obiewu. Ena wako ne yase ena wo nanti akọ nipa kro no efun adaka no eho na wokọ ye kokọhwe efun adaka nim no na wo na wo dem. Imagine your life. Imagine say if you are in that position edien na nkrofo edebe kai. And I'm like, this is a very good question. Edien na opese nkrofo de kai. If that is your position today, edien na opese nkrofo de kai. I was saying Crofoka say enam papa we sunti enende madu nipa asem enam papa we sunti na debia mebua nipa enam papa we sunti. What legacy are you leaving? Sometimes we are human, sometimes we are selfish and we think about ourselves a lot. But what legacy are you leaving? What impact are you having on the world? The space you are in. Is it always about you? Or you have a bigger plan to create a legacy for your family, to create a legacy for your community, to create a legacy for the country? Because at the end of the day, how you made them feel, 14 years ago, Atta Mills and politics now will groom you, all those young people. Today, we are all seeing them flourish in the NDC. Sometimes it's just sad that Debia me worries they say we don't get our presidents to write books about their lifestyles and how they rose up to get to wherever they, what you say, we don't get those things. I feel say we need to be, getting more of those things. What you say, ebiana ne book bi wo ho, ono ankasa atro, se ne abrabo ne ye, all those things. We need to learn, we need to know. So, I mean, that's it. This is not your usual, melodies post. This is just something I feel say 14 years Atta Mills so free mo. Ediena yesuya. What is the lesson? And for me, one of the lessons, and they say, do your best. Don't do. Men yourself obey lazy. Ye juma ma wa se media me lazy na ka se media me ye de metum dabi. If you know you can do it well, you do your best. But aside everything else, take some time off. Relax. Be very conscious about your health. Every single day. Say you're 30 minutes now to me and now walk. Do some exercise. Ye baby. Eat well. Eat good. But at this point, I've cut a lot of foods because no kwani nyami and then say because ye kase mami ndi fufu biom to the timer ebia nyankopon be frame ya I have eaten enough fufu in my life. Ye kase mami ndi sugar biom to the timer nyame be frame ya I have eaten enough sugar in my life. Ye kase mami ndi sausage biom, mami ndi meat pie biom, mami ndi cake biom, adia na me pepan ye cake. And I say, na ye me birthday, nanka debia me birthday, and need a constant cake. Ne sisi ho kesien. But I have eaten all those things. What you say? It's ye kase mami ndi bioma, I've had fun with those things. Gani ni bi social media. Oh, sorry, no way. Sometimes, okay, can see and kwandie and but sometimes nyankopon one man a certain level. One here na one sumu ya. Don't be selfish about that. So take very good care of your health. This is the year I want you to consider, going out, having fun, relax. Not necessarily gidi bia. Just get a nice resort, nice place be a calm with nature. Go have a peace of mind, relax. Sometimes get away from the chaos. O your boss, o your penny, o your CEO, o juma bim. O feel said that your juma de mini wa enko ye. Charlie, just take the weekend off. Forget, shut everything about the work off, and just go and relax. Ebefa. Ebefa. I don't know for you, but me won. Abrabo mu me hu say enyama e fama me pane enyama me force me hu too much. That is the truth. Enyama se de bia me force me hu gidi we de be ye be bonza e be fa kra na nhye dan fasa, but enyama won force me hu too much no bonza pa na fa. Inti relax. Believe in God. Bompa ye tre onyankopon. But take that time, go for the vacation. Don't think about the money. Spend that money. Spend that money. And all that. That is the lessons I made. Ghana ni bia wutie me no. Book we eye asset ba ko a e wo se wo keep e wo fie. To book we ma wo ho. To ma wo ba. To ma obi biara osumbo e wo wabrabo mu wadamfo obi a opese odiye wabrabo mu bia no to sa book we your friend the Ghanaian investor. Na sa book we be trail different forms of investment a obetumi aye e wo Ghana ha. Licensed investments. The first one e ya de bia your friend emergency fund. Book we be trail send you be set up emergency fund. Abrabo aye boy bibia betumi ato. If you have an emergency fund, ebeba na ba be save you. Oka betumi asay wo kwan so obetumi ayare oba betumi ayare nini na emergency fund no ebe take control of all those situations. Book no besan so atre wade bia ye fe na endowment fund a obetumi dia protect wo ho any future. Na sa endowment fund no nyame mpengu okokonya accident na untumi nye adwuma bioma it will take care of you for the rest of your life. Book no besan so atrel send ya obe set up a personal pension fund. Nkrofo bebre eye adwuma wie ekọ retirement omukọ retirement we are no mo ho aba betwe omo o set up a personal pension fund. That will not be your case. Most importantly, book we betray how to invest in the Ghana Stock Exchange. Now Ghana Stock Exchange investment, basically, it means you are buying ownership of Ghanaian companies. Now Ghana Stock Exchange, it is one of the best performing markets in the whole world. A lot of people are making money from the Ghana Stock Exchange, but they don't know how to invest in it. Book we betray us idea. Your investment be why your friend mutual fund. Book we betray how to invest in a mutual fund. Now mutual fund, you don't need to be rich to invest in a mutual fund. I remember an example. Yan fan say wa woba fresh. Now wa per license mutual fund e Ghana ha say o pese odi usikashim. Say o to me invest 500 cedis every single month. E a Ghanaian mutual fund mo. By the time I wo ba ne be di 19 years no. Now wa dane millionaire. Yan fan say o wo fa CB we di 10. O pese da chi bi odi ye. Every month for 500 cedis e she mutual fund mu e ma no. By the time I wobano and I was no obedi 29 years no na oye millionaire. Wankasa wutie me we di 40. Nanso wo hwa onye investment bia eno ane say obeye mutual fund every month for 500 cedis e shem. By the time obedi 59 years no na wenya 1 million Ghana cedis. Into mutual fund no, that is how it works. Small money every single month. By the time embre ebebano nesikano ayekese book we betro sanya mani na sa ope book no ni PDF anase ni twi video a free anase WhatsApp number na ewo book ni so sisia na sa we Ghana ni na wa brochure na ope hard copy of the book a very simple call Amazon na search for the Ghanaian investor place the order bibia obi I be ship e dia bro medase.